If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is VSiN By The Books on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Final hour of our Monday VSiN By The Books edition. Jensen Lewis alongside Grace Remington in for Dave Ross, who is on vacation this week. Well-deserved for Dave down in Virginia Beach. I'm sure mom and dad have the coffee and are watching. Please don't have the mushroom coffee, Dave. Please. I hope you get the home brew and mom and dad take care of you. That's a whole nother thing. A guy knows a lot about that. Our next guest, a great friend of our program, and does a great job here at VSiN. He is Will Hill, joining us on the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter at @NotTheWillHill. Buddy, always great to have you on a Monday. Give us your assessment over the weekend here. Some closeout games for the NBA, the NHL, particularly some hairy ones here at the end. But we get a round 2 game underway yesterday between the Pacers and the Cavs, and the Pacers do what they have to do right in stealing game 1.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. Hopefully Dave's having a nice vacation. I didn't know he was with his parents. So is he sleeping? Like, is he at his childhood bedroom? Has he got like the cowboy posters on the wall, the Daryl Strawberry posters on the wall, sleeping in his little bed from when he was a kid? Hopefully Dave's having a nice time. Yeah, it was a fun weekend. It was strange yesterday because I was doing the live bet show. Usually Sunday, 3:30 Eastern, you get an NBA game, an NHL game. They pushed everything back to 6 and 8:30. So that was a weird feel, but yeah, it was a fun weekend. Clippers no-show. That was a team a lot of people liked. The market really liked them. They get blown out. I was kind of hoping for more Game 7s than we got. We went into Thursday, Friday looking at, man, we could have 6 or 7 Game 7s. But Knicks rallied and won. Toronto won in the NHL. So we didn't get quite as many as we thought. But one of the NHL, or really both NHL games were really good. And what an awful loss that was for St. Louis last night. So yeah, really enjoyed it. I think, and we'll get into game 2 here, I think people, and really the market did overreact to this Pacers win. It was a good win, 8.5-point dogs. You win on the road. Won pretty convincingly wire to wire. I know the Cavs made a comeback and give Indiana credit, they answered. But this series reopened after game 1. Cavs only -175. That obviously was a mistake. We're up to -210 and above. In most books. I like the Cavs in game 2. Look, we've seen this movie 1,000 times. When a team gets blown out at game or loses game 1 at home, they tend to blow out the other team in game 2. So there's just a desperation when you lose game 1 at home that the other team can't have. First of all, the team at home is usually better. They are better because they're the higher seed. So to me, the 30-point differential behind the line, that's not going to continue. Cavs are a really good shooting team. I think the Cavs still have some advantages in the paint. And I just think that, we've seen this trend before, and I'm not a huge trends guy, but losing game 1 at home usually means you roll in game 2. And I'd be surprised if the Cavs don't not only win, but win pretty easily. I just think that they'll even the series at 1-1, and they can go to Indy and win. I wouldn't overreact. Before the series, I was more like torn between, all right, I think the Cavs are going to win, but is it 5 or is it 6? I guess since Indy's got one and one in the bank already and one on the road, 5's going to be really hard, obviously, to win 4 in a row. But I'm thinking now more 6, 7 is possible. But I still think the Cavs are in pretty good shape here to win this series.
We have another series starting tonight. The Celtics pretty much dominated the Knicks during the regular season this season. Any way that you're trying to play them in the series markets?
I went Celtics in 5 plus 215. I was surprised. I saw one of the pregame shows. They showed how everybody makes the predictions for the series, and it was 11 people. They all picked the Celtics. That doesn't surprise me. What surprised me, a lot of them had it in 6 or 7. I don't see a long series, even though I don't really have a dog in the fight. I'm rooting for a long series. It'd be fun to get a 6th or 7th game, especially Boston, New York. That would be fun. But man, I just think Boston has a lot of answers for what New York does. First of all, New York is somewhat lucky to even be in this round. Detroit, if they were a little more buttoned up, a little more mature, might have closed them out and won that series. They just melted down the stretch in a few of those games. I just think Boston, first of all, they have a lot of guys that can attack Brunson defensively. Brunson's not, as great as he is on offense, he is not a good defensive player. And Boston has so much skill and so much depth on offense. They can attack him. They can attack Towns. They can bring him away from the basket. And then they have guys that can guard Brunson. Now, we'll see about Holiday's health. That's a big one. But if Holiday's healthy, him, White, some of these longer defenders, they have bodies to throw at Brunson. They've got guys to attack Brunson. To me, this follows a path of Boston probably wins the first two at home. They get the split in 3 and 4 in New York, and then they close it out in 5. I don't see like a 6 or 7 game series. I think sweep is on the table, but Boston never seems to sweep anybody, and sweeps rarely happen in the NBA. Teams just take the foot off the gas or whatever for one game. So to me, 5 is the sweet spot here, plus 250, and I think we're looking at a short series and a Boston win. And I think they'll advance.
Yeah, Celtics 9-point favorite right now. DraftKings 9.5 at Circa. Total still at 213 at DraftKings. Will, I did jump on the under yesterday there. I do think that the Celtics could lock down the Knicks, and anxious to see, as you mentioned, kind of where the shooting ability is from both sides from deep. We know the shooting ability was there, at least in Game 7 for the Nuggets, as they were able to get past the Clippers and convincingly, but quick turnaround for them. A well-rested Thunder team. I know you're in on the series price here. Any leans for you on Game 1 as the Nuggets and Thunder begin in OKC tonight?
I would only look to OKC just because a couple things. The fatigue factor, I think, is a major issue, and I'd be worried about Denver, who I do think has some advantages in the series, and I think that OKC has virtually nobody to guard Jokic. Not that anyone can guard him, but the Clippers at least made him work. They had some guys that can give him a hard time. If you fall behind, if you're down 12, 15 in the third quarter, if you're Denver, I think the prudent thing would be to probably punt and just get Jokic off his feet, get your starters some rest. You've been playing back and forth, going from Denver to LA every other day, 7-game series, playing a ton of minutes. Give yourself a chance. Obviously, going to the game with the idea, hey, we're going to steal the game and we're going to go up 1-0. But if it becomes obvious you're going to lose, I would look towards getting some of these guys some rest. So keep that in mind with the player props. Be leery here of taking these Denver starters over. That being said, Jokic is so good. I think he can actually drag them to 2 wins, and there's just nobody on OKC to really guard him. Holmgren is just too thin. There's a size strength advantage for Jokic that I don't know who matches up on Jokic. So Jokic could have a big series, some monster games here. Just a problem for Denver. I think they've got too many weaker perimeter defenders that OKC can really attack. So out of respect for Jokic, I'll call it OKC in 6. You actually get plus 450 on that if you think Denver can sneak out 2 wins and Jokic can drag them to 2 wins. Again, I'm kind of torn here between 5 and 6, similar to Indy and in Cleveland. I'll go with the nice payout here, and that requires OKC closing this out in Denver, so you get more bang for your buck in terms of the payout. But I'll go OKC in 6. I like the plus 450 payout. I think OKC wins. I don't think they're in danger of losing. I don't think it goes 7 or anything like that. But out of respect for Jokic, I'll give him a couple games here.
I like that take. Switching pace now and going to the diamond. I love K-prop, so I'm glad you have one for us today. You're looking at Sandy Alcantara. No one expected him to return to Cy Young form his first season back from TJ surgery, but I don't think we expected it to be this bad. But you are fading him today. How are you doing so?
Yeah, and for all the talk of, the Marlins are going to trade Alcantara. When should they do it? Should they build up his stock? Well, that stock seems to be sinking every time he takes the mound, every time he picks up the ball, because he's been awful. ERA's over 8. The hard contact is bad. Everything is bad. He did strike out 7 guys his first start back in March against the Pirates. Since then, he hasn't gone over 4.5 at all. It's been 4, 1, 1. It hasn't been ugly. It's just not getting the swings and misses. His command hasn't been good, which gets his pitch count up. And here's the other thing. He saw the Dodgers 5 days ago, which I don't like from a pitcher's perspective. I think that's an advantage to hitter once they've seen a pitcher twice in a 5-6 day span. I think that really favors the offense. You pick up the angle, the spin, all of that stuff. And he was awful 5 days ago in LA against the Dodgers. They hammered him. He couldn't make it out of the third inning, gave up 7 runs. So to me, getting to 5 strikeouts, I think, is a stretch. You're actually getting plus money on the under here. So I like the plus money here on Alcantara under 4.5 Ks.
Yeah, definitely. Dodgers right now minus 205 on the money line. They're favored minus $1.25 on the run line. Gives you a pretty good idea of where the market believes that offense. And if you want to look at just the average against, it is kind of mind-boggling for one of the better pitchers in the sport. Almost up and down that Dodger lineup, the career averages against are just crazy to look at. Also, for myself, I do like the over 9.5 at even money in that game as well. Will, you are obviously a big Yankee fan. For myself, looking at some of the award markets, I still can't believe Aaron Judge is where he is in the MVP market. Can there be anyone else that overtakes him, or is this start just insurmountable for people to overcome?
I didn't look at the updated market. What is the field? Because the other day it was 4-1. I thought that was a good bet. It's crazy. It's May 5th here. We are almost entering a point where as long as he stays healthy, it's going to be hard for anyone else to win. And you might be talking a point where even if he misses 2 or 3 weeks, he could still win. And so there's a long time to go. I mean, minus 900 is a crazy price. That line is a big red stop sign saying, hey, no more Aaron Judge money. Don't bet Aaron Judge. You want to bet it, go somewhere else. I mean, you can only bet the field at that. And he has had a history of getting hurt. But, man, he is just so far above the second best hitter in the sport right now. I mean, it's a sport where nobody can hit. The league average is like 240, and he's just making a mockery of it. I know all of the people can say you dropped the pop-up in the World Series, which is going to haunt him forever, at least until he wins one. He hasn't really hit in the playoffs. He was starting to get hot in that World Series, too, which is the shame of it, because they could have ever gotten to a Game 6 or a Game 7. I think he was about to go on one of his runs, but, man, what an all-time great player. And it's hard to it's hard to see anyone as long as he's healthy, it's hard to see anyone else actually winning this thing.
Yeah, minus $9 in that Aaron Judge versus the field plus 550. If you think anyone can catch what Aaron Judge has done to start the year. Buddy, always great to catch up with you on a Monday. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk again next week.
All right, appreciate you guys. See you next time.
There he is, Will Hill, at Not The Will Hill on Twitter, if you'd like to follow him. Gracie loves the Cavs tomorrow. I do too. I've jumped on that minus 9.5. Celtics in 5 at plus 215, and the Thunder in 6 games at plus 450 for the NBA side. Don't go anywhere. More baseball talk with Grace when we come back on VSiN By The Books.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
Welcome on back. Final hour of VSiN By The Books here on a Monday. Jensen Lewis, Grace Remington in for Dave Ross today and tomorrow. And a special treat with you, Grace, because I know on the baseball side, you love breaking down the pitching angles. It was great to have our friend Will Hill jump on with us. And you know what? This is Producing 101 from Brandon Valesky. Will jumps in with the Sandy Alcantara under prop on the strikeout market. And we were like, you know what? Let's do a little double take on Whiff Wednesday. So we usually save that for Wednesdays, but because you're here with us early in the week, we renamed it Manic Monday. So you get a little 2-for-1 action on our Whiff Wednesday theme. Let's stay right there in Miami tonight. Let's go with the little Mr. 305 or not. And that's Sandy Alcantara against the Dodgers. Will talked about the numbers career-wise, Grace, against LA. 7 starts, almost a 10 ERA, unfathomable to think about. One of the more dominant arms in the game, but he's allowed 9 homers and 31 2/3. Mookie Betts and Will Smith combined. You can pretty much go up and down the Dodger lineup, Grace, and they've had a lot of success. 13 for 30 against Sandy Alcantara. My leans for this game were the LA team total over, and then Mookie Betts, who has just been rolling 2 or more total bases. What's the data tell you? What are your leans? What do you feel about just kind of looking at this game in particular?
I'm on the same page as you. There's really no positive way to spin the data around Sandy Alcantara. The 8.31 ERA isn't as bad as it looks, but the expected ERA is still above 6. with a FIP of 5.56. His location plus is a career low, which checks out in other areas because his strikeout rate is all the way down to 15.8%. Now, he was never a high upside strikeout guy. His career average is just over 21%, and he had a peak K rate of 25.6%. That was the year before he won the Cy Young. The reason why he's ever managed to get a high number of strikeouts in games is because he just has a big volume of innings pitched as a workhorse, but now he's not even going deep into games. He's gone 6 innings just once this year, and twice he's been chased. He's been chased in the 3rd inning. Yeah, twice he's been chased out of the game in the 3rd inning. So, like, you would never expect someone to return to their best form the season right after they return to TJ. Typically, they don't bounce back until year 2. But this is just really bad. And then you put it together with just his workload from 2021 to 2023. He threw more innings than any other pitcher during that span. So I think it's fair to question, will he ever get back to what he was? So in terms of this game, I like your idea. I like Will Hill, fading him on the K prop. He's actually projected to throw 3.6 strikeouts today. So the fact we're getting plus 110 odds on the under 4.5 is great. I would take the Dodgers team total over 5.5. I think you can get that at even odds. And I never even bet run lines, but the Dodgers run line at even odds, I would bet that too. So pretty much every which way to fade Sandy, we're going to do that today.
Yeah, pretty remarkable. If you wanted to go 3 or more, so minus 2.5 on the run line, that's at plus 114 on DraftKings. So again, we could see a lot of offense early and often for the Dodgers in South Florida. We do have a Cinco de Mayo theme for the next one, Grace, and that concerns our guy Nick Pivetta. I said Pivetta ain't no piñata, and here's why. The year for him has been really, really solid so far, but particularly the Padres come to play. And the last 4 consecutive games that he started, the Padres have won. He's also punched out 6 or more in 4 straight starts. Now, I always have some trepidation with guys going to Yankee Stadium because of elevated pitch counts early and just kind of how the strike zone seemingly just deflates when you're on the road side. But I do lean that Nick Pivetta, the over on the outs recorded, just because of the track record and what he has done thus far this year. So again, another showdown series, Padres and Yankees from the Bronx tonight, but targeting Nick Pivetta as he will start against New York tonight.
Yeah, I love Nick Pivetta, especially because he's had a cool story with his career turnaround. I guess Red Sox fans didn't really like his attitude when he was demoted to the bullpen. But a year later, people were asking, is he one of the best pitchers in baseball that we didn't know about? And what he did to turn around was he cut back on the curveball. He started utilizing a sweeper more. And this season, it has a whiff rate of 42%. So that's where most of the strikeout rates are coming. Today, he's projected 6.7 strikeouts. I'm trying to find the updated number. I think last night it was actually 5.5. But the over was pretty juicy at minus 154. I do like our chances there, but maybe bet the alt over 6.5. The thing about the Yankees is they are one of the best hitting teams against righties, but they actually swing and miss a lot too. I don't know. That's probably just a matter of them being aggressive. But their strikeout rate against right-handed pitching is actually the 5th highest in the MLB. So I like the Pivetta, his over strikeouts today.
Yeah, going to be a great matchup there. And again, if you like the Padres side, plus $1.20 with Nick Pivetta on the hill. Carlos Rodon taking the ball for the Yankees, minus $1.42. That total juiced the same way, minus $1.10 at 7.5. Okay, so I also like a piñata party as much as the next adult in a very very festive way. But we're going to get a little 2-for-1 action here on the Welcome to the Party theme. So here at VSiN By The Books, Grace, we love those instant gratification bets. The yes run first inning, the no run first inning. How about these numbers I'm going to give you? The Seattle Mariners in games that they have played, 64% of the time it is hit on the yes when they are on the road. That leads Major League Baseball. Conversely, the Houston Astros, 85% of the games they have played this year, the no run first inning is hit. That leads Major League Baseball. Your matchups tonight, the Mariners in Sacramento to take on the Athletics, the Astros on the road to take on the Brewers. I'm giving out at least a lean, the yes run first inning, Seattle and the Athletics, the no run first inning, the Astros and the Brewers. What say you, Grace Remington?
Oh, man. So I don't really bet yes or no run first innings, but if I did, I would always bet toward the side of yes. There are a few numbers to support this. First of all, 50% of games have a run scored in the first inning. So naturally, if you're getting even odds or better on either side, that's just the way I would go. And I think over time, since it is a 50-50 probability, if you're betting those plus money bets, even if you have a losing record, you're still going to come out on top. But 91% of the time, the first inning is the highest scoring inning in a game. And for several reasons there, the teams are batting their best hitters at the top of the order. Typically, teams want to come out, score a lot of runs in the first inning to set the tone for the game, so they're a little bit more aggressive. And then starting pitchers, whether it's nerves, getting used to a new environment, getting used to a new mound, it may take a few batters for them to settle in. So I always err on the side of yes run first inning. I think the Seattle number, 64% yes on the road, makes sense because their home park is a pitcher's ballpark. So they're always going to have a positive park shift when they're on the road. And then Houston, the 85% no makes sense because they play in a dome. So that favors pitching. And so their no yes run first inning is always going to be skewed toward the no. But both of the today, I think I like, let me see here. I don't like Ronel Blanco or Tobias Myers. So I'll take, oh my gosh, am I going opposite you on both? I think I am. I'm so sorry. I think I am.
I love it. It's okay.
I think I actually lean toward the yes in the Houston-Milwaukee and the no on Seattle Athletic. I haven't even checked the odds. This is just based on the pitching matchups. But so this will be fun.
This will be good. Yes, it'll be a great recap tomorrow when we tackle Daily Diamond. All right, last one here for a Manic Monday. We are amongst royalty here when we look at Cole Reagans and the White Sox. I'll give out just a quick lean on that. I do think Cole Reagans, over on his strikeouts, he has 11 shutout innings against Chicago in his tenure, 8 or more strikeouts and 3 of 4 starts overall this year against central opponents. Also lean that White Sox team total under, Grace. So any quick thoughts on that game as well?
I love Cole Reagans. I have a Cy Young wager on him this year. I bet him for Cy Young at 26-1 last year, came close to cashing that. He has a strikeout rate this season of almost 36%, which is absurd. He's always been a high K guy, but I mean, a lot of those strikeouts have come against Cleveland, Minnesota, Colorado, Detroit, which are all bottom 8 in K rate against left-handed pitching. So granted, that 36% rate is a little bit skewed, but he does have so much upside that, like, I believe the strikeouts are going to keep coming. Plus, I actually think he might be a little bit underrated in the betting market because he has a 4.40 ERA, but you look at the underlying metrics, a 2.45 expected ERA, a 2.57 expected FIP. Looks like he's gotten a little bit unlucky, so he should have even better results moving forward.
Yeah, Royals minus 245 on the money line against the White Sox. Hey, by the way, Sharp Plays in April was fantastic. Keep it going here in May. Check out sharpplays.com. Real bettors go there to get ahead. They have been unbelievable since 2011, and also the AI tools have been fantastic as well. Sharpplays.com, respected watch.
You're tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
Monday edition of VSiN By The Books rolls on. Jensen Lewis alongside Grace Remington in for Dave Ross has the week off this week back in Virginia Beach. I'm sure tuning us in because it is always great, Grace, to catch up with one of our dear friends here on the program. She had to sweat it out, but her Maple Leafs got it done. And she is none other than Rachel Doerrie, CTO of Betalytics, joins us on the Progressive Guest Line. Follow her on Twitter at Rachel Doerrie. All right. I mean, we talked to you last week. We're like, oh boy, we'd be more surprised if the series ended there for Toronto and Ottawa than if it continued. But all's well that ends well as Maple Leaf fans. How we feeling up in the 6th today?
Oh my gosh. I mean, that was such a relief. Like, it was my sister-in-law's birthday on Saturday, and I had to tell her, I'm like, if it goes 7, like, I'm not coming to dinner. Like, straight up, it's not happening. But thank God this team who just tortures me through the entirety of my adult life got it done. So I can't wait for us to get absolutely curb stomped in round 2. It's going to be so much fun. But at least this time, my expectations are a lot lower.
I don't blame you at all. It's either don't go to the sisters' dinner or you're there and the game is pulled up on your phone and you're not paying attention to anyone. But game 1 is tonight. The Panthers are minus 125 favorite. Do you have any bets or leans for this game?
Yeah, so there's this weird thing across sports, but specifically in hockey, the dad strength thing, where if you have a new baby or you're a first-time dad, you come back and all of a sudden you have this newfound, I don't know, level of play. And Mitch Marner, who is one of the Leafs' best players, had his first son yesterday. And so I'm expecting Mitch Marner to get a point tonight. I'm going to pair that with Alexander Barkov to get a point. So those are kind of like my 2 favorite bets tonight. The Leafs have had a ton of trouble scoring against the Panthers this year, and Mitch Marner has 3 of those goals. And so I look at that and I go, okay, I like the dad angle and I like the fact that he scored against the Panthers. I'm taking the home money line, though. I think when you're the underdog and you're playing at home, there's some intrinsic value there. So for me, I look at that plus 109. That has some value for me.
There is no heart whatsoever in that bet rationale process, is there, Rachel? None whatsoever taking the Maple Leafs plus 105, plus 109. At Circa. Hey, tomorrow we do get 2 other series underway. Again, in the Eastern Conference, we get the Hurricanes and the Capitals. I think Dave and I had talked with you last week, and I had said Carolina feels like that team that has just flown under the radar, maybe overall, in the NHL postseason. And then we get just 2 behemoths headed at each other in Edmonton and VGK. Size up that Hurricanes and Cap series first, though. 7:10 puck drop Eastern time tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think the series is going to be really interesting. I think the Frederik Andersen in goal for Carolina angle is probably the most important storyline heading into this series. If Frederik Andersen is healthy and can play, I think the Canes probably take this in 6 or 7. If they have to go to Pyotr Kochetkov, it's Caps in 6 for me, maybe even in 5. The difference and chasm between Logan Thompson and Pyotr Kochetkov is enormous. Thompson could be up for the Vezina this year with how well he played. And Washington kind of just looks like a wagon, whereas Carolina has to rely more on well-rounded offense and pretty solid goaltending. And Koshetkov's just a little young, little inexperienced when it comes to that. So I look at this and I go, Frederik Andersen's health probably tips the scales in this series. If he comes back, maybe game 2, game 3, I could easily see this series going 7. That would probably be the bet I take, is the series to end in 6 or the series to end in 7. I know both of those are plus money bets on various books.
I like the goaltending angle. And speaking of goalies, the Oilers and Golden Knights also have some questions about theirs. But the betting markets, at least in the series markets, have this as the closest game, the closest series of round 2. The Oilers a minus 115 favorite to win. The Knights minus 105. So anyway, you're playing this series.
Yeah, you nailed it with the goaltending angle. I look at this, I think this series goes 7. Regardless of what happens, I think this series goes 7 games. These teams have played a couple of times over the last couple of years, and when you look at it, it's always highly entertaining. You've got goaltending that, they can't stop a beach ball to save their lives right now, and so that's a problem. So 7 games plus 200 has some significant value for me, but if I'm talking game to game, I am taking the over in every single game, whether it's 5.5 or 6.5. I am taking the over. And then when you look at Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, they averaged 2 points a game each in the first round. There's no reason not to take them for a point each and maybe tease the total down in a parlay. When you look at those two players, they somehow are the rare type where they produce more in the postseason, where it's harder than they do in the regular season. And the reality is they're aliens. Like they find ways to get things done. So I think this is going to be a super entertaining series. And if Vegas wins, I think it's going to be because one, Aiden Hill figures it out in goal, but two, I think their depth is a lot better than the Oilers. Guys like William Karlsson, Nick Waugh, Keegan Colasar, and their back end is one of the best defensive corps in the entire NHL. So I think if Vegas wins, it's probably because their depth outplayed the Oilers' depth because that's where their strength is.
Rachel Doerrie, CTO of Betalytics, joining us here on a Monday, handicapping all of the NHL playoff action. I did jump in just now on Golden Knights on the puck line plus 200. I would love to see nothing more than offense in that one. Give me a 7-4 winner, and everyone goes home happy, or at least everyone except Oiler bettors. Let's jump into now what the Jets and the Stars series is. Actually, first of all, Rachel, more surprised by Connor Hellebuck doing what he usually does in big-time spots, but somehow getting bailed out by the offense and then winning it in double OT, or just the surreal performance of Mikko Rantanen to bring the Stars back from down 2-0 in the third period and then ultimately getting a hat trick and maybe one of the most unbelievable individual performances we've seen in a Stanley Cup playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, the last 48 hours has been a billboard advertisement for the National Hockey League. Like, I don't know how you can have an argument that any other sport has a better playoffs than the NHL after what we just saw in the 2 Game 7s. Just the narratives are outrageous. To me, I think it has to be Mikko Rantanen. The fact that Colorado had a dispute with him over a rumored like $500,000, traded him outside of the conference so they didn't have to play against him, only for him to be traded back to the team that they play in the first round. He was really quiet the first couple games. Game 6 and Game 7, 4 points apiece. Like, that's nightmare fuel if you're the Colorado Avalanche, who have now lost 7 consecutive Game 7s. Like, I look at the performance of Mikko Rantanen. Number one, like I said, absolute nightmare fuel for everyone in the Colorado front office, for the entire Avs fan base. And then, I mean, you just look at it. That was the best series of the entire first round. That was a conference final level series that we saw in the first round. And to me, Dallas is an absolute wagon. They did that without their best defenseman and their arguably best forward in Jason Robertson. You can have a debate with Mikko Rantanen. But, I mean, my goodness, for that's got to be just an absolute dagger to the heart of every single Avalanche fan. Like, that's just – it was so fun to watch, but, man, oh, man, that's so tough if you're a fan of the Avs.
Some storylines you just can't write. That's so good. We have about a minute and a half left. We've hit all these series. Is there any type of bet, any futures markets we haven't asked you about that you have a sprinkle on or that you feel really passionately about?
Oh, man. Okay, so I actually – Mikko Rantanen to win the Conn Smythe. So I think that the Stanley Cup final is going to end up being Dallas, Florida. Honestly, I think Dallas might beat Winnipeg in like 5 or 6 games because Connor Hellebuck was pulled in all 3 of his road games. And yes, Winnipeg has home ice advantage, but the St. Louis Blues are not the Dallas Stars. And Dallas, for my money, is probably the best team remaining in the entire league, maybe Florida. And so I think Mikko Rantanen, I mean, he's already got double-digit points in the first round. If he has another good round heading into the conference final, he's probably going to be the odds-on favorite for the Conn Smythe playoff MVP trophy. And if Dallas wins the Cup, in hockey media, there's always narratives, and Mikko Rantanen is going to end up being that narrative this year. So I would take him. I don't know what his line moved to after the Saturday night performance. I had him going into Game 7, and I think I had him at plus 2,500. So something like that. I think if you can bet on an exactor final, I would take Dallas, Florida. Otherwise, I would be taking a serious value at Mikko Rantanen to win the Conn Smythe Trophy. I just think that everything's kind of coming up Dallas right now.
Yeah, you got 25-1 on Mikko, down to 10-1 at some books now, Rachel, and your exacta for the Panthers Stars paying out plus 815 at DraftKings. Always great to catch up with you. We can't wait to do it again. All the best. Have a great week. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, Rachel Doerrie, CTO of Betalytics, kind enough to join us there on the Progressive Guest Line. All right, it's best bet time. What we have in pocket, not only for today, but perhaps for games upcoming this week. All that and more when we come back on VSiN by the Book.
You're tuned in to VSiN by the Books, right here on VSiN.
Always great catching up with Rachel Doerrie, CTO of Betalytics. Outstanding insight into the NHL postseason. And Grace, speaking of reaction, obviously as a Maple Leafs fan, she was just overjoyed, I'm sure emotionally drained. How about our very own Scott Seidenberg was live on the air when the miracle in Manitoba happened yesterday between the Blues and the Jets?
Clock ticking. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! 1 second left. The Jets have tied the game. 1 second left. Cole Perfetti scores the goal. 3-3. We're going to overtime.
Oh, the best on Live at Sunday yesterday. And really, Grace, that's kind of been the story of the NHL postseason. We have seen, whether it's tying games to send to overtime or for yours truly, I have cashed at least 2 puck lines with these empty netters with under a second to go. And it has just been, this is why you watch all the way to the end, man. I mean, just an unbelievable finish there for the Blues and the Jets. They go to double overtime. The Jets end up getting the win. They will go up against the Stars coming up here on Wednesday. But boy, oh boy, I'm with Rachel. I know you probably feel the same way. Unbelievable NHL postseason thus far.
I know. I mean, the passion from both Scott and Rachel just kind of sums it up. We're getting extremely lucky as fans with all these Game 7s and the way that they're being won as well. Gosh, that reaction from Scott was hilarious. I mean, that needs to lead off his TV reel. But I mean, and also, man, I wish we could see what the live money line was for the Jets with probably 5 minutes left. That would have been real, or maybe, I don't even know. I don't know how late you can bet it, but that would have been really cool to see too.
Yeah, not only that, also the Stars too, down 2-0 in that third period. I believe that money line upwards of like plus 1,300 at one point. But again, just an incredible postseason and just phenomenal to watch. It is time for our G-Bank best bets of the day, and again, you can get the G-Bank Visa Signature Card as well, because most credit cards treat sports books and gaming transactions as cash advances. But G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases. So you're saving upwards of 3 to 5% on those cash advance fees on those gaming transactions just right there. Also, G-Bank getting 1% cashback rewards in all eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions, as well as 2% cashback rewards on all eligible purchases. Apply now at VSiN.com/GBank. That's VSiN.com/GBank. We are a ladies first operation always here on VSiN by the Books. So, Grace, I give you the floor. Some MLB best bets standing out for you today. What do you like tonight?
Well, I appreciate the chivalry. Let's start with the Mets D-backs over 9.5 at -105. First of all, both teams getting a positive park shift for hitting here. The weather in Phoenix tonight, the roof will be open. They always have the roof open if it's below 100 degrees. So should be 70 degrees at first pitch, but Arizona moving from Philadelphia to Chase Field. Chase Field ranks 3rd in ballpark factor, so that's a boost. And then the Mets are coming from St. Louis, where it was 58 degrees, so the higher temps will help the ball travel further. But the Mets throwing Griffin Canning, who should be due a little bit negative regression. He has a 2.61 ERA, but a 3.9 expected ERA and a 3.56 expected FIP. Has a really high hard hit rate, 46%. He seems to be changing up his arsenal right now. He used to throw the knuckle curve 10% at a time, but it looks like he's ditched it totally. And most of his pitches are about average. The fastball is the only one with a below or an above average mark. So I think we should see some negative regression from him soon. I actually capped this game expecting Corbin Burns to go today. We're actually getting Ryan Nelson, but I still like the over regardless. I actually do think Ryan Nelson is due some positive regression. You look at his 5.8 ERA, he has a 3.3 expected ERA, so it looks like he's gotten a little bit unlucky, but still he has a hard hit rate of 47%, which is crazy high. But it's mostly because you have two of the best offenses already. They're both getting a positive park shift, which will boost the hitting. So I like the over in this one. The other bet I have, we talked about it earlier in the hour, is just fading Sandy Alcantara in every which way because he just has not looked like himself to start 2025. An 8.31 ERA, a 6.38 expected ERA. You dig deep into his metrics, there's really nothing that looks good. And you kind of wonder if he'll ever get back to his Cy Young form because he was such a workhorse. He's pitched more innings from 2021 to 2023 than any other pitcher in the majors. And now he's dealing with the comeback from surgery. It just doesn't look good for him. So I like the Dodgers team total over 5.5. You can get that at even odds. They're actually projected to score over 6 runs today.
Absolutely love it. And I'm going to be with you in that game. Did lock in the over 9.5 at even money. You see that right there at Circa. It's up to plus 102 on DraftKings if you still want to get in. Also, like the Mets angle here, I'm on the run line plus 142. Do feel they can get to Ryan Nelson. And you mentioned the park upgrade. If you've never been to Chase Field, their ball's going to carry a little bit in this Mets offense will certainly benefit from that. So over 9.5 at even money for the Dodgers Marlins. Mets run line plus 142. My plays in Major League Baseball. Rachel Doerrie, if you're just joining us, I love the exacta matchup she gave out. Plus 815 if you want the Panthers to win the East parlayed with the Stars to win the West. You can get that on DraftKings again, plus 815. Rachel Doerrie giving that out as well. Grace, I also have a couple plays in the NBA. I locked both these in yesterday. We've had some line movement, at least in the Thunder game. -9, the spread I got in. They're up to 9.5 against the Nuggets tonight. Also do like that under 213 in the Knicks and the Celtics game. But honestly, as we look at where a couple of these games are, I do think the Thunder will be able to take advantage. Will Hill did circle that. Believes that the Thunder in 6 at plus 450 is the price. But as far as game 1 goes tonight, I do love his angle that he feels that there will be some fatigue, even to the point where he's like, hey, if you're the Nuggets, kind of punt a little bit in game 1 to get your guys rested and try and steal game 2.
Yeah, I liked his the Thunder in 6 games angle. I'm not typically an NBA better, but just for funsies, I might go ahead and bet that in the futures markets. Your Knicks, Celtics, I like the under there because you have 2 good defenses going head to head. Love that we're on similar. I mean, you got the Dodgers Marlins over. That's right in hand with my Dodgers team total over. And I do like the Mets to beat the D-backs. So love that we're on the same page today.
Yeah, some bets to throw in for people if you want to get ahead a little bit of some movement. Tomorrow, the Pacers and the Cavaliers will have game 2 of that second round series. Cavaliers 9.5-point favorites at the moment. Have that locked in if you're a VSiN Pro subscriber. Did take them. And I do feel, Grace, that this could be going away. I don't feel that the Pacers will shoot the lights out the way that they did last night in game 1. Do feel that the Cavaliers will find someone outside of Donovan Mitchell to help out with the scoring. That Darius Garland injury has played a little bit now, missing his 3rd game. We'll see where he is in the rest of this series. But do feel that the Cavaliers take care of business against the Pacers tomorrow night. In the NHL, I did lock in the Golden Knights on the puck line, plus 200 against the Oilers. The Jets and the Stars under 5.5. You can get it even money. That's on Wednesday. So some of those best bets moving forward. As you kind of look overall today, and we'll bring it back to the baseball side here, because of the shorter slate, does it make you want to kind of stand off a little bit, or do you just kind of look for some of those pitching matchups? I know that you're very heavy on that. Just trying to look to exploit some of those opportunities when you have a shorter slate today.
No, honestly, the size of the schedule never really bothers me. I kind of just stick to the same process every day. The days where I do kind of change it up a bit is maybe Thursdays, those getaway days, because just the travel schedule and then playing earlier in the day can affect your routine. Playing earlier in the day when it's hotter can also affect, the number of runs scores. So I would say Thursday, probably Wednesdays too, when there's a lot of day baseball is when things switch up for me. But Mondays when it's a shorter, hey, honestly, it just means less work for me. I'm betting every day, but if I can cap fewer games and get the same results, I love that.
Oh, no question about it. Listen, a lot of fun to be with you today. We'll do it again tomorrow, same time, same station here. Again, VSiN By The Books. What a fun day with you. We'll run it back again tomorrow. Keep it locked here on the network. A numbers game with Kelly Bidlin and Gil Alexander coming up next. They'll have Carl Sack, the man behind the VSiN Killer Sports NBA Playoff Challenge. Money Moves with Stormy and JVT at noon, and then Prop Points with Nick Whalen and Jeff Erickson at 2 p.m. Eastern. A numbers game coming up right now. It's been VSiN By The Books.